If you're a man over 60, I'm going to say something that may shock you, but you need to hear it. Right now your prostate might be growing, not slowly, not gradually, but aggressively because of 3 everyday habits you thought were harmless. These habits don't just inconvenience you, they steal your sleep, your energy, your freedom. And if you don't stop them immediately, you could be walking straight into surgery, catheters, or worse, losing control over something every man takes for granted until it's gone. I'm Dr. Moitkara. For over 30 years, I've worked with men facing the same struggles you might be living with. Getting up 4 times a night to pee, sitting through dinners anxious about your bladder, and losing intimacy because your body just doesn't feel like it used to. I'm not here to scare you. I'm here to guide you. Most men think their prostate grows just because they're aging. But what if I told you the real reason has nothing to do with your age and everything to do with how long you sit, how late you drink water, and what you put on your plate every day? In this video, I'll reveal the 3 worst habits that secretly inflame your prostate and how you can reverse years of damage without drugs, surgery, or giving up the things you love. These aren't vague tips. They're clear, science-backed steps you can take starting today. And I need you to pay close attention, because the second habit is the one almost every man thinks is healthy, yet it's one of the most dangerous for your prostate. Let's get into it. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you never miss important advice that could protect your prostate and your health. And if this message speaks to you, type 1 in the comments. If not, type 0. I'm here to improve and your feedback matters. Alright, let's begin with the first habit. And it's one that most men do every single day without thinking twice. It seems harmless, even normal, but over time it quietly puts pressure on your prostate and sets the stage for inflammation, discomfort, and frustrating urinary problems. Habit number 1. Sitting too long without moving. The silent squeezer. Habit number 1. Sitting too long without moving. The silent squeezer. Let me tell you something I've seen more times than I can count. A man walks into my clinic, smart, successful, retired, or near retirement. He's in his 60s, maybe 70s. He's frustrated, not sleeping well, waking up 3, 4, sometimes 5 times a night just to pee. Can't sit through a movie without getting up. And he says, "Doc, I don't get it. I eat okay. I'm not doing anything wrong." And that's just it. He's not doing anything. He's sitting. We often don't realize how much time we spend seated, whether it's watching TV, reading the newspaper, driving, or just relaxing. Many men over 60 spend the majority of their waking hours in a chair. It feels innocent. You've earned your rest. But your prostate doesn't see it that way. Here's what's really happening. When you sit for long periods without getting up, you're putting consistent pressure on the muscles and tissues that surround your prostate. It's like slowly clamping down on the same area for hours, day after day. Over time, that pressure reduces blood flow, stiffens tissue, and increases inflammation in the pelvic region. I call it the silent squeezer because you don't feel it happening until the symptoms show up. And when they do, they're not always dramatic at first. A slightly weaker stream, a little more urgency. Waking up once at night becomes twice, then 4 times. Before you know it, you're planning your life around the nearest restroom. Your body begins to feel foreign to you, no longer dependable. There's also a hormonal angle that doesn't get talked about enough. When you sit for hours every day, your body produces less testosterone and more estrogen. That hormonal shift, even in small amounts, has a direct impact on prostate tissue growth. It's a subtle, slow march toward benign prostatic hyperplasia, or BPH. And the worst part, it's often mistaken as just part of aging. It's not. It's lifestyle and it's reversible. I had a patient, Carl, 67, former engineer. He used to spend 5 or 6 hours a day sitting in his recliner watching cable news. When I showed him how his sitting habits were crushing his prostate health, he was shocked. We didn't do anything drastic. No medications, no procedures. I simply asked him to stand up and walk around the house every 30 to 45 minutes. Within weeks, his nighttime urination dropped from 5 times a night to once. He called it life-changing, all because he stood up literally for his health. So, what can you do today? Simple. Set a reminder on your phone. Stand up every 30 minutes. Walk a lap around your house. Do a few gentle stretches. If you're able, take a short walk outside after meals. This isn't about exercise. It's about circulation, about keeping blood and oxygen moving freely through the pelvic region so your prostate isn't choked by stillness. If you're thinking that sounds too easy to work, I get it. But sometimes the simplest habits are the most powerful. You don't need to overhaul your life overnight. You just need to start moving again consistently. Your prostate will thank you and your bladder will too. Now, if that surprised you, wait until you hear what habit number 2 is. It's something almost every man believes is healthy, something even I used to recommend, but done at the wrong time. It can quietly make your nights miserable and your prostate inflamed. Let's talk about it. Habit number 2. Habit number 2. Drinking too much water at the wrong time. The night flutter. Drinking too much water at the wrong time. The night flutter. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you had a full night's sleep? I mean, really slept through the night without waking up once to use the bathroom? For many men I speak to, they can't even remember. It's been years. They just assume it's part of aging, that they're destined to get up at 2 o'clock a.m., 3 a.m., maybe even 4 a.m., shuffling to the bathroom, exhausted, frustrated, wide awake when they should be resting. And most of these men, good men, they're doing something they think is healthy. They're drinking water, lots of it, staying hydrated just like their doctors told them, but they're doing it at the worst possible time. And it's wrecking their prostate function, their bladder control, and their deep sleep. I remember one patient, John. He was 71, very health conscious, walked daily, ate clean, and drank at least 8 glasses of water a day. He'd guzzle down 2 glasses with dinner, another before bed, sometimes a little herbal tea to wind down, and then he'd wake up 3 to 4 times a night without fail. He thought it was just his age, but when I asked him when he was drinking all that fluid, his face changed. He had no idea. The timing mattered. Here's the truth most men never hear. It's not just how much you drink, it's when you drink it. As we age, the bladder becomes more sensitive. The muscles weaken. The communication between the bladder and the brain becomes less reliable. Add to that an enlarged prostate pressing against the urethra, and it doesn't take much fluid to cause nighttime urgency. Drinking large amounts of water, or tea or juice or soup, after 6 p.m. sets off a chain reaction. The bladder fills overnight. Pressure builds. You wake up again and again. And each time you do, your body loses precious deep sleep. The kind that repairs hormones, restores energy, and helps your prostate recover. The worst part, it becomes a vicious cycle. Poor sleep lowers testosterone. Low testosterone encourages prostate growth. A bigger prostate leads to more nighttime urination. And round it goes. What I tell my patients is simple. Drink plenty of water, yes, but front load your hydration. Get most of your fluids in before dinner. Sip throughout the day. Stop drinking 2 hours before bedtime. And skip the nighttime tea, even if it's herbal. Some herbs are natural diuretics. They push water through the kidneys faster and make matters worse. Your bladder needs rest just as much as your mind does. John made just one change. He stopped all fluids after 7 p.m. Within 2 weeks he was waking up once a night instead of 4. After a month, some nights he didn't wake up at all. His wife said he was less irritable. He had more energy during the day. And most importantly, he felt like himself again. That's the power of timing. Not a pill. Not a surgery, just giving your body the conditions it needs to work properly. Now, if you thought that was eye-opening, just wait until you hear the third habit. This one's on your plate. And it's something millions of men eat every single day, not realizing it's fueling estrogen in their bodies, quietly feeding the very prostate growth they're trying to avoid. Let me show you what it is. Habit number 3: eating. Habit number 3: eating too many estrogenic or inflammatory foods. The prostate feeders. Too many estrogenic or inflammatory foods. The prostate feeders. There's something powerful I've learned over 3 decades of treating men's health issues, and it's this: what you eat either calms your body or inflames it. There's no neutral ground. Every bite is either healing you or slowly working against you. And when it comes to your prostate, the foods you're putting on your plate every single day may be quietly fueling the very problem you're trying to fix. I've had countless men come into my clinic frustrated, tired, and overwhelmed. They tell me they've tried the pills, followed the routines, even stopped drinking fluids at night, but they're still struggling with frequent urination, that uncomfortable pressure down low, and that sense that something just isn't right. And often when I ask them to walk me through what they're eating each day, I see the same red flags pop up again and again. You see, most people think of food as fuel, but certain foods act more like hormones. They can trigger the body to produce more estrogen. Yes, even in men. And they can inflame the tissue around the prostate, making everything swell, tighten, and become harder to control. It's the foods you see in nearly every kitchen: white bread, sugary cereals, processed meats, cheese, beer. All of them seem harmless on their own, but over time, especially when combined, they shift the internal chemistry of your body in ways that make your prostate more vulnerable. Refined carbohydrates spike insulin and promote systemic inflammation. Processed dairy is often loaded with hormones that can mimic estrogen. Beer especially contains phytoestrogens from hops. And when men consume it regularly, they don't realize they're actually tipping the hormonal scale toward imbalance. I remember one man, Frank, 66, who came in feeling completely defeated. He said, "Doc, I'm doing everything right. I quit smoking. I go for walks. I even meditate, but I still feel swollen and uncomfortable down there." When I asked him what he ate, he told me every morning started with toast and orange juice. Lunch was usually a sandwich with deli meat and cheese. Dinner often included pasta or pizza with a beer. Nothing crazy, right? But when we took a closer look, his diet was full of inflammatory triggers: no vegetables, no fiber, no foods that help flush excess estrogen or calm inflammation. So we made a few simple swaps. Started eating more cruciferous vegetables like broccoli and cauliflower. He added tomatoes for lycopene, pumpkin seeds for zinc, and replaced the white bread with whole grains. We didn't count calories. We didn't make it complicated. And within a month, Frank said something that stayed with me. He said, "For the first time in years, I don't feel like my body's working against me." That's the truth about food. It's not just nutrition. It's communication. Tells your body what to do, how to feel, and whether to grow or shrink. Inflammation. So if your plate is full of things that make you feel bloated, heavy, or tired, it's time to listen to your body. Start Making one small change today. Your prostate won't respond overnight, but it will respond. And speaking of change, if you've made it this far, there's one more piece I need to give you. One final habit that can help you turn all of this into action starting tonight. It's not about restriction. It's not about discipline. It's about one simple plan you can follow today to start reversing years of damage. Let me show you how. 4. What you must do today. The turnaround plan. You must do today the turnaround plan. Let me speak from the heart for a moment. After working with thousands of men over the years, I've learned that the biggest breakthroughs don't come from new medications or fancy tests. They come from something far more powerful, a decision. A man reaches a point where he says, I've had enough. I want to feel like myself again. And that decision, that moment becomes the turning point. So I want to ask you, why not make that moment today? Because now you know the truth. You know the hidden damage that sitting too long can do to your prostate. You know how drinking too much fluid at the wrong time can rob you of restful sleep and strain your bladder. You know how inflammatory estrogen-rich foods can quietly fuel prostate growth day after day. So the question now isn't what's wrong, it's what you're willing to do about it. And the good news is it doesn't have to be complicated. Start by picking just one thing to change today. That's it. Not 5, not 10, just one. Maybe it's setting a timer to stand up every 30 minutes and walk around your home. Maybe it's deciding to stop drinking fluids 2 hours before bed. Maybe it's swapping out white bread for whole grain or adding a handful of pumpkin seeds to your lunch. These might seem like small things, but they're not. They're signals to your body that healing is possible, that you're no longer feeding the problem, but starting to shift toward the solution. I remember a man named Howard. He was 73. When he first came to see me, he was the kind of guy who had given up hope. Had a drawer full of medications, slept in a separate bed from his wife because of constant nighttime urination, and he told me, I just want to feel normal again. I gave him the same advice I'm giving you now. Don't aim for perfect. Just do one thing today. He chose to move. Every morning after breakfast, he walked 2 laps around the block. That's it. Over time, we added small dietary changes. He started drinking his water earlier in the day. Slowly, the frequency of his bathroom trips went down. He started sleeping better. His confidence came back. And when I saw him 6 months later, he said, Doc, I finally feel like I'm living again. Not just managing symptoms. That's the turnaround I want for you. Not a list of rules or restrictions, but a real lasting shift in how you feel, in your body, in your energy, in your sense of control. You've made it this far into the video, and that tells me something important. You care. You're not passive. You're ready. And now that you understand the hidden habits that may be fueling your prostate issues, the only thing left is to begin. And in just a moment, I'll leave you with a final message, one that every man over 60 needs to hear. Because the truth is, this journey isn't just about your prostate. It's about your peace of mind, your freedom, your dignity, and how you can reclaim all of it. Starting now. Let's wrap this up together. Conclusion. Final words from Dr. Kara. Final words from Dr. Kara. If you've stayed with me this far, I want to thank you truly. That tells me you're the kind of man who doesn't ignore the warning signs. You're willing to listen, to learn, and most importantly, to act. And that matters more than you know. Because the truth is, millions of men over 60 are suffering in silence, thinking frequent urination, poor sleep, and discomfort are just part of getting older. But they're not. They're signals. Your body is speaking to you. And now you finally understand what it's been trying to say. We talked about 3 silent habits that slowly wear down your prostate health. Sitting too long without moving. The pressure and stagnation that cuts off circulation and fuels inflammation. Drinking too much water at the wrong time, stealing your sleep and stressing your bladder. And the everyday foods that act like estrogen or inflame your tissues, making the prostate swell quietly over years. But we didn't stop there. I showed you how to turn it around starting today. Not with a long list of rules, but with one simple, powerful shift. Your decision to begin. And if you're wondering, is it too late for me? Let me say this from the heart. No, it's not. I've seen men in their 60s, 70s, even 80s completely change their prostate health, their confidence, and their freedom by making small, consistent changes. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to begin. Your body is capable of healing. Your energy can return. Your nights can be peaceful again. You can feel strong, steady, and clear. So wherever you are in this journey, whether you're just noticing symptoms or you've been dealing with them for years, this is your moment. Don't wait, don't wish, just start. You've got the knowledge now and you're not alone. I'm here to guide you every step of the way. Let's move forward together. If this video helped you understand your prostate health better, please give it a like. It tells me this kind of content matters to you. Share it with a friend, a brother, or anyone over 60 who needs this message. Leave a comment below, even just a thank you or a question. I read everyone. And if you'd like to support this channel and help us create more doctor-backed content for men's health, consider making a small donation using the link below. Every bit helps, and I'm deeply grateful for your support. Let's keep making health simple, honest, and powerful together.